poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I want to have a conversation today about hip hop. How do y'all feel about hip hop? What do y'all think about the future of hip hop, where hip hop is at currently on every single level, from media to music? Before I get to talking though, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and if you like this enough, send this to one of your homies. I started thinking about this today. This is something that actually passes through my mind, every now and then, but I really started thinking about this today. Where does hip hop rank with us currently? There's a lot of things to complain about. There's a lot of things to point the fingers at. There's a lot of ways we feel due to nostalgic purposes. And I think that nostalgia comes from us trying to find things to like currently. Now, in the past, I say 20 years from 2005 up until now, it's been great. I'm saying it's been great. There's always been points and times or things that you could point out in hip hop that you disagree with. I don't even care if you go back to the 90s. There's tons of music that I used to like when I was a kid that everybody that was older than me didn't usually like or didn't really understand. Now, it wasn't the same degree as it is today, but back then it was just the same sentiments, right? Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what are they talking about? We not on that, or we ain't on this, or cool. But I started to think about music and rappers and how, like, when I was a kid, seeing a rapper was like the most amazing thing. You know what I mean? Like, seeing a rapper when I was a kid was almost equivalent to seeing a basketball player. Now, there's two reasons why I feel like that. One is because television at the time made everybody seem larger than life. Because the only way you could see somebody is if you had to catch them at a certain time. You either had to watch them on a video show, you had to request to your favorite video to be played, or you had to read about them in a magazine. So when you finally saw somebody, it was like, yo, that's him. Wow, like, he really do got the jewelry on, or he really do got the car, he really do got the girl. And culturally, things have changed so much from now to then. Even, like I said, 20 years, just 2005 to now. You see the situation with Wale and Kai Cenat. And Kai Cenat is, a fixture in entertainment. I'm going to just say he's a fixture in entertainment. What he's doing has never been done before. How he's doing it has never been done before. He's the first of his kind. Now, him seeing a person like a Wale and not acknowledging Wale for who he is, we had the episode about that. You could check it. But I think the larger issue is we look at Kai Cenat, or people view Kai Cenat as like this, a black entertainer that doesn't know another black entertainer that has given us so many things that we love with a Wale. Entertainment has changed because all of the fancy things, all of the things that people aspired to have, all of the things that they really wanted, and I'm speaking about in hip hop culture, are accessible now. They're accessible to people who ain't even artists. Sometimes I could just be scrolling on the gram or something, and you be on somebody's page, they got the chains, the watches, the cars, the girls, the parties, the bottles, everything that it was like a rapper starter kit, and this dude don't even do music at all. But the aesthetic makes this dude say, well, I'm gonna try music. And that's where we start to get things a little shifty. That's where shit starts to get a little bit going left. In recent years of me working in music, right? You see all this AI stuff, and artists got the rights to be super duper upset about it, because I think that AI is a gift and a curse. On one hand, you can use it to be productive. You can use it to make things work a little bit faster. But on the counterpart, I think that people are using it to kind of try to create slaves in a way. Yeah, it's like you want a product, and you want somebody to tell them to do it day and night without them having to say I'm tired and all that. And all that sounds cool until robots start gaining consciousness and we get Westworld, right? And then the world fucking ends. That's a whole nother story. But when I see how people are saying, oh, AI, one of the things that I learned about music is that what y'all don't get to see is the behind the scenes of how many people work on a great album. Yeah, you might got your A&R, and the A&R is a very, very important part of this process. But then you get all of these artists in the more recent years saying, I don't need an A&R. I don't want an A&R. I pick my own songs. I pick my own records. And that sounds cool, but how many of these artists who've said things like this actually have sustainability? You know what I mean? How many of these artists are actually becoming stars? How many of these artists are actually doing things that's noteworthy other than getting in trouble? So you have the artists who say, yo, I don't want no A&R. And then labels start looking at data and saying, well, maybe we don't need A&Rs. And then now people are out of A&R jobs. I'm not using this as a moment to plug myself. But seriously, right? Like, but in the recent years of me doing A&R, and I say the past like 8, I never been around so many artists in my life that can't create without somebody telling them what to do. And I mean like having a writer. You know what I'm saying? There's countless amounts of artists that I've worked with in recent years or like it's been around and or I'm one of my friends that's working on an album is like, yo, you got any records? And it's like, for who? And it's like, yeah, this person needs a record. Not a hook, a whole idea, a whole concept, a whole something to make. And a lot of these writers put in a lot of pain. You know what I'm saying? They put in a lot of pain, and I gotta salute the writers that do the work behind the scenes. But it's so many artists that if they're in the studio and you ain't got nothing written for them to do, they don't really know what to talk about. They ain't got nothing going on in their lives, or they're afraid to be vulnerable and express themselves. I think one of the reasons why I love Eve so much is because she made a single like Love is Blind, talking about not her pain, but what she's seen her homegirl go through. And telling a story about that. And there was so many women that was able to like relate to that shit. DMX making Slipping. You know what I'm saying? I'm an album cut person. I never really bought into an album as a kid off of the single. Like I was like, all right, I hear something that I like. One of my friends got the album I hear, so I'm like, oh, I like that joint. One of my favorite Nori songs is Sometimes, where he talks about losing his dad. You feel me? But I just think that like there used to be this level of balance. We get these conversations about the North, the South, the East Coast, the West Coast, and all this other stuff. We so much against who did something first or who did something better that we not even understanding that the corporate America structure of music has kicked culture out the window. It's literally kicked culture out the window. A lot of people complain about gatekeepers. Yo, it should be gatekeepers. We need gatekeepers. And or we don't need gatekeepers. And I think that we do need gatekeepers back. I want to talk about the media aspect of it. There's platforms, right? These platforms aren't curated by a network anymore. On the Radar, for instance. Love On the Radar. Those are my guys. Literally watch Gabe, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit here and say I was in the trenches with him or nothing, but I've been going to Power 105 for about 15 years, having relationships with everybody over there in iHeart and, you know, tons of people. And watch Gabe start an idea from him interviewing people and turn it into a performance platform. And while I think that On the Radar is great and it's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that people don't get to see, in order for them to build that platform, too many people got access to it. Same thing with Zay, right? With From the Block performances. I think From the Block performances is dope. But the thing about From the Block performances is, you know, when Zay did it, then everybody did a drop mic, right? Everybody did a drop mic because people look at performance and entertainment. They don't look at the culture aspect of it anymore. As in, yo, this is something that's gonna raise the bar, that's gonna make people step their game up. People look at it more so as a hustle. How many views is they getting doing that? Oh, we could do the same thing and we could start monetizing and making money. Now, I think that is great that people can make money off of their creativity. I'm one of them without having a barrier. I have my own show with Amazon Music. I was on a show like Everyday Struggle. There hasn't been a show like Everyday Struggle since. I had a show at Amazon. I've said this numerous times. My show at Amazon was directly put through Twitch. I didn't know nothing about streaming when I was on Amazon. I used to be on the front page of Twitch. You know what I'm saying? I used to be on the front page of Twitch because I had a show at Amazon, but I never got a chance to curate or build out my vision. Now that I'm able to build out my vision, the independence of it is a longer grind. You know what I mean? Putting them 2 feet in front of one another, and trust and believe we got other things that we doing as far as shows that we want to roll out. Getting guests is not as easy as people think it is until you get popping and everybody want to do your shit, right? But that's the thing. independence is a great thing, but I'm worried about how independence sometimes hurts the creator, because as you're growing independently, you have to adapt with the times. Everything that you see right now that's current, that everybody loves, eventually they'll hate or they'll shun and say, we need something else. I think that's why streaming is such an important part of the equation, right? Because streaming is the new version of reality TV. It's produced, but it's not produced on the level of reality TV. Reality TV is produced. Some of the conflicts are scripted, or people are put together in order to bring those conflicts to a head so that you can get moments, right? Moments. You can get them fights. But what is a fight worth when you could just open your phone on Instagram and see a fight in a town or a city that you never been to? You know what I'm saying? What baddies, like it used to be a level of gatekeeping. You know what I mean? Now it's just all holds barred. So the level of entertainment that people consume has changed drastically. Back to the music though, real quick. The media space is oversaturated. The music space is now oversaturated. Labels are terrified as fuck right now. And the reason why they terrified more than they've ever been, and I'm speaking specifically about rap because I don't know how it is for country and Nashville and all that other stuff. I don't work in that field. But in rap, the reason why labels are completely terrified is because they've spent a lot of money over the past few years. And I'm talking about few in a 5-year span of signing artists who were getting popping on TikTok. It's popping on TikTok. What does that even mean? They've signed so many artists that had a flash in the pan, a moment, and they've spent a lot of money because being that there's no gatekeeping anymore, artists, whomever, that's starting to get a little popping says, well, if y'all want to sign me, I'm already making X amount of dollars off of what it is I'm doing. I want this crazy amount of money. But that crazy amount of money is an investment. And then you get these people in the rooms and you find out that they're not really artists. And then they don't want to be told what to do because of their independence. And then it's a power struggle because that same independence that got them in the room is now that independence that they don't want to let up from because they really need help and don't know how to say it. So these labels are scraping and scrambling because they don't know what to do. A lot of the A&Rs have been kicked out of the equation because of these same things. A lot of people lose their jobs. I know a lot of people talk about how artists are treated so bad and how they get the short end of the stick. And listen, the artists who might not have a hit record but got a little bit of fame can still go get them maybe a good $5,000 to $8,000 a night, while the A&R or the person who's doing marketing, which that's another thing. Y'all would be surprised how many labels don't have internal marketing departments no more because they haven't adapted. I think that all of this comes back to the Thanos was right shit. Everybody has too much. It's enough to go around, but at what cost? These courses are whipping everybody's ass because while everybody's parading around and making it look like they so good, they got their chains, they rented cars, not owning no homes, not owning no property, not having equity in any of the businesses that they start, still burning money on frivolous, stupid shit. How much Philippe's can you eat? How much Brooklyn Chop House can you eat? How many times can you hit Maestros? How many times, like all of these different things, these rapper starter kits that have built these artists up, that whole shit is dying. What's gonna change things? I don't have the answers. I don't. If I had the answers, it'd be just as simple as me executing the answers. But what's gonna change things is vulnerability, real stories, real accountability, real storytelling that paints pictures of not only what artists go through on the bad side, but the good side. Ice Cube's biggest record is Today Was a Good Day. He's just simply talking about the fucking day he's having. He got some ass. I mean, mom cooked the breakfast with no hog. You know what I'm saying? Messed around and got a triple double. It's all these regular things, not regular, but it's all these simplicities that make a great record. But I think that we've gotten so much that we can't even see a great record if it slapped the shit out of us. And let me tell you why. This is for artists, male and female. Twerking, we're going to start with the ladies. Twerking, at one point in time, as a man, it seemed like the greatest shit that ever happened. But now, it's the most boring attribute any female artist can have. I know that you do these videos and you shaking your ass and you bending over and you lifting your cheeks and all this other stuff, and you think it's lit because you getting likes, but you getting likes because of lust. You're not getting likes because they into the music. You feel me? I feel like if you're a woman and you got a great body, yeah, you can show off your body. I'm not the twerk police. I'm just telling you, how do you compete against 100 other women that do the same exact thing as you? Now I want to talk to the dudes. Holding the money, because it ain't a money phone no more. These niggas got so much money, it's not even a phone. They got to hold it like a baby. They got to carry it in bags. They got to do all of that. That's the male version of twerking. Yes, if you holding all that bread, that doesn't make me excited to listen to you. Is the single good or not, my nigga? Like, is the song good or not? I don't care how much money you got. Because I want to spend my money with somebody that I believe in. But why would I believe in you when you look like everybody else? Y'all all got money, but the people that's on the ground level is all fucked up. So they supposed to just believe in the guy who has money? See, there used to be classes and shit. It used to be certain people that represent certain things. Everybody can't represent the same exact thing. You can't. If you're in a crew of rappers, or let's say a collective, and you look to the left and you look to the right and y'all look like twins, then y'all just clones. Y'all clones of one another. And neither one of y'all is going to get over that hump unless y'all start challenging yourselves to be artists. Art is also subjective. What works for me don't work for you. And what works for you don't work for me. I'm not a person that just thinks to the degree of region, because I grew up at a time where everybody was popping. When New York was popping, so was the South. When I met Birdman and I told him how much I loved Cash Money, and he was like, wow, I said, y'all sold millions of records. It wasn't only where y'all lived at or where y'all was from. We was jacking y'all shit because it was different than ours. And for myself, me being 42 years old, while the radio might have not been playing you, if I went to a party, they was playing stuff from other regions because they had to get the party going. Everybody couldn't get the same songs. You can't play the same songs over and over again. Now I want to finish and talk about nostalgia. We all love the old times. Lord, doesn't Jordan Brand and Nike know that these motherfuckers keep giving us the same Jordans every year with no new stories? Oh, y'all ain't get those last time? Here, we going to bring them out this time. Y'all ain't get those? Well, yeah, we going to give them to you again, but here's another softer level. It's all lies, man. It's all marketing. But we love nostalgia. We love to live in a time where we think we had the most fun. So it doesn't permit us to be as creative as possible. I'm challenging all y'all young artists to tell y'all own stories. Don't go sampling. And yes, we sample too. But when in the 90s, when they was sampling the 80s, they wasn't using the same concept of the song. When now y'all going back to I want to be a chick and just making it I want to be a chick part 2. I need a girl again. Like, come on. Y'all gotta create your own stories, producers, same thing. If these artists is not trying to challenge y'all while they in the studio with y'all, don't let them waste y'all fucking time. You know how hard it is for a producer who creates the foundation of what music is built on? I love production so much, I could be sitting right here and my neighbors could be playing a song and I could hear the bass line and know the record. That's how much I love sound. But producers, y'all gotta get back to that. Making y'all own sounds and stories. The reason why shit is all crumbled up and all of that and only a few is popping and only a few is winning, is because you gotta challenge what's going on. Gotta try something new. As much as people, listen, as much as people might hate Drake, that No Kid shit is something new. I think that's why it works. You know what I'm saying? I think TV Off by Kendrick, reason why it works is because, I mean, turn your TV off is not the first time I heard that term, but the term is coming from a place of honesty, aggression, culture. Skip over the culture. You gonna get the money that you want to make. Don't trip over that. Everybody who ever wanted to do something great and stuck in the mindset or the regimen of doing something great made great money, but they didn't lead with that. Create art, y'all. I just wanted to vent a little bit because I love this shit called hip hop. It's afforded me a life that I've never imagined, and I want the same for y'all. My name is Wayno. If you like this, make sure that you share it. For the ones that rock with me, know how we do. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. Peace.